So I had a couple of particularly painful years as an investor, literally having to go into these smart contracts and be like, what was it that was happening? And like, how is this taxable? And like, this was kind of an in-kind trade. So like, why am I paying capital gains on this? I mean, the pace of innovation is just so much faster in this industry than typically what the tax software companies can keep up with.
What's been your biggest frustration when it comes to exiting like businesses and trying to defer capital gains tax or even cryptocurrency? What kind of comes to mind for you?
Yeah, there's a couple of experience. I mean, we're still quite a ways away from exiting at Demo, so not too far in our mind. On the personal level, as somebody who's been an investor in the crypto space for a long time, just the IRS has been a little bit behind on their ability to sort of keep up to date with the innovation that's happening in the crypto space. And one of the other things is that like even the software to analyze these smart contracts has not necessarily kept pace with the rate at which those smart contracts are being developed. So I had a couple of particularly painful years as an investor, literally having to go into these smart contracts and be like, what was it that was happening? And like, how is this taxable? And like, this was kind of an in-kind trade. So like, why am I paying capital gains on this? I mean, the pace of innovation is just so much faster in this industry than typically what the tax software companies can keep up with, certainly than what the IRS is aware of. And, at this point, like I've always made the absolute best effort I possibly can. I can't be 100% certain that like a tax software or something, didn't check the box perfectly for me, but it's just a complicated world. And when you have companies that are innovating at the rate they are, it's really hard for both entrepreneurs and for personal and for people. And so at Demo, we've been very careful to try to minimize that. And actually for a company that's like issuing our own, well, the company hasn't, but the foundation issued its own token, we've had to be very thoughtful about like how we're using the tokens, what kind of tokens are on the company balance sheet, and all things like that. And in fact, we've probably minimized it more than we would have just due to the nature of the tax implications of holding crypto and the capital gains with it.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is A being very, very thoughtful about it, and then B also being proactive about it as well, right? And that's part of what we pride ourselves on doing, is being proactive and thoughtful about building what's called a capital gains tax exit plan on the sale of businesses, cryptocurrency, real estate, and deferring that tax. That tax is typically somewhere between 25 and 50% of the proceeds on what you're selling. And it can be a huge, depending on depreciation recapture. It's massive, right? We did actually a cryptocurrency exit for a client. She exited 50. She invested 50,000 into Bitcoin and went to 50 million, and she exited 5 million into our trust, deferred the tax, and used the money tax deferred to build a business. And so it's a cool way to exit cryptocurrency and to fund other business ventures, all tax deferred. It's kind of like an IRA or a 401k for multi-million-dollar exits, and it's very flexible for the entrepreneur. And it serves the big challenge, which is, hey, I want to, cash out over here, or at least, but not get crushed with the tax. But I don't necessarily want to cash out personally in the sense of, hey, spend the money on my boat or my primary home. I actually want to invest it into real estate or invest it into a business or invest it back into cryptocurrency when the market drops. And so we believe this is massive because it enables and empowers the freedom for the capital to move without getting crushed by the tax. And so that's what we do here. If you want to learn more, you can go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. But those are the things I always encourage entrepreneurs as you're building what you're building, Alex, right? You should also, when it's getting closer to it, we'd like to say 3 to 6 months before, right? Start to build the exit plan, right? It's never too early because you do all the work just for the government to take 40 or 50% of the proceeds. Like it doesn't make sense to not be strategizing and being proactive about it.
Yeah, we have a long way to go building Demo, and in fact, we actually we raised some money recently, closed our Series A, and extended our lockups in our vesting period. So we're we just put on our seatbelts and we're ready to build for the next 5-10 years. But these are things that I'm sure any business owner thinks about. Again, I'm someone who's been in the startup space my entire career, so it's something that almost from the very beginning it's like, okay, well, if you're fortunate enough to get to that point where these are your considerations, then more power to you.
Absolutely. And also too, if you're looking to raise capital, we found it's a great way to do that, because there's, like, you may know people in your space, like we did 13.5 million of Bitcoin and Ethereum before the last crash of crypto. Now we're in a bull market as we're recording this, I think 68,000 a coin for Bitcoin right now. And there's capital that wants to fund these type of blockchain technology companies, that wants to go into real estate, that wants to diversify, right? But they don't know how without getting crushed by the tax. And so we become that bridge to bring the capital in to fund, versus someone just saying, okay, well, I'll sell my business for 3 million. I'll come with 2 and I'll give Alex 1, why not sell it for 3, defer that million and maybe come with 2? Like, that's just the concept that we like to do. But